Tá fáilte over Ashquigad Law. Our next story takes us to County Kerry. Staigue Fort in County Kerry is under the care of the Office of Public Works, and it's one of the largest ring forts in the country. And these ancient places are keys to our growing appreciation and awareness of the cultures of the people that created and shaped them. But you know, there are other more ancient treasures that have been somewhat overlooked. Rock art, for instance, has symbols that have been shared and can be found all along the western seaboard, and they indicate ways in which our ancient ancestors communicated, and we have yet to fully understand and appreciate those ways. I went on an expedition to find out more about rock art during the summer. Kerry has a wealth of archaeological treasures that draw people from all around the world. Staigue Fort is one of Ireland's largest ring forts. These ancient places really are keys into our heritage. Aoibheann Lambe is fascinated and passionate about these and other ancient treasures.
You know, we have so many ring forts in the country, and we have, say, 50,000. It's only, say, 3 forts of this calibre, like in the whole country. And this one is, we think, from the Iron Age. There's been a gold Bronze Age brooch found here, and there's been a Viking whetstone here, so you can't date it to either of those finds, and a horn spoon that's in the Cork Public Museum, and it's as fine as a fingernail. It's really beautiful. So if we take that as an indication of the sort of lifestyle or how people lived here, it was a very kind of fine way of living. So we have a very curious thing. See these bays? So like there are 10 of these X-shaped stairways, and the original height would have been, say, the 6 metres that's there. So that's about the maximum height that the fort would have been. And the superstition would have protected the fort to some degree, you know, in the past. But it was actually a cattle pound, you know. It was known and believed to be a cattle pound, like in the 1800s. And the chambers are very interesting, like Green on an Aoileach in Derry. It's very similar looking. You know, it has the 2 chambers as well. You can stand up when you go inside there. So there's all sorts of ideas about what they were. People would have had ideas that there'd have been a very royal person here, and that during some ceremonies, the people would retire into those little spaces and meditate and think, maybe come back like with an answer to a mystery. Where did your interest in these ancient monuments and forts come from? I was always interested in nature and archaeology when I was a child, and I just never thought you could actually work in them. When I started studying archaeology, people in the area started asking me to give tours like to schools and Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts and other groups. I love bringing people to places that are off-grid, that they would never know about. I like to bring people here because that's part of, it's a kind of a time travel tour I do. Mm-hmm. So we start off in the Iron Age, and then we go to the Bronze Age and then back to the Stone Age. So where are we off to now? We're going to the Bronze Age. Hey, brilliant.
So, off we headed up into the hills overlooking Kenmare Bay.
So we're going to get some clues as to how you'd know there's copper without just necessarily seeing it. I feel like king of the castle here. Okay, so I actually learned this from bringing somebody to a copper mine, right? And she'd studied ecology in Tralee, and she said, oh look, see that lichen there? So that's very rare protected lichen called stereocolin, and it only grows in copper-rich rock. You know, it's a metallophyte lichen. So if you knew nothing about where the copper was, because it could be in the rock, but not, you know, visible from the outside. If you saw this straight away, you're alerted that there's a chance of copper here. So we have the lichen growing on the rock here, and there is the copper mine. It's one of our actual rarest monuments in the whole of Ireland. So in Kerry, we only have 9 primitive copper mines. So a really strong clue here is that there's some copper smear mineralisation here. That's malachite. We had trade with Cornwall, so they've got tin in Cornwall, and you need tin and copper to make bronze. So that was really the difference, because if you have a copper dagger, it's beautiful, but it's not really effective. If you've got a bronze hatchet, you're really in business, and you're a dangerous person. If you just notice this on our way out, just have a little look. It links into where we're going next.
Aoibheann led us to another treasure, but one that proved hard to see under the dull grey skies. However, necessity being the mother of invention, she had an unusual device to help us view our next discovery.
Aoibheann, this is very cosy. We're kind of under a tent and it's a little bit noisy, but it's for a good reason. It's so that we can see these markings on the rock clearly. Isn't that right?
That's right. We could see them by torchlight or by sunlight if it was around, but it's dull daylight and this is the best we can get now. There's a limited repertoire of motifs. So this is called the cup mark. That's the hollow, and then there's a ring and there's a groove. So there's never anything representational. There's never a person or an animal. It's always this kind of curvy linear or maybe a grid.
We could just make out the marks, which were fascinating, but with the right light, the rock art on the list stone is absolutely stunning. Aoibheann has found many examples of rock art all over Kerry, each one unique, but all with these same recurring symbols of circles, cup marks and simple spirals.
I think it was part of their spirituality, some like really deep meaning, and then maybe on top of it, it was also that the rocks that were chosen were also route markers. So a number of things happening at one time. We have the same marks in Scotland, Spain, Portugal, England. So there was a lot of communication.
And I suppose when you think about it, okay, we're here and this is quite off the beaten track. There must be lots of other things out there that are yet to be discovered.
Yes, it's so exciting. I call Kerry the Disneyland of archaeology. I know that's terrible.
No, I think that's a lovely way to describe it.
It's just so much here. Like it must be the most surveyed county in Ireland. Like there was a massive survey done in the 1990s, and yet you can still find stuff. So it's really amazing that way.
Aoibheann, do you think we appreciate and respect things like this as part of our heritage?
Well, when something doesn't have a name, it doesn't exist. If people don't know about rock art, they don't recognise it when they see it. They think that someone in the family a few generations ago did it. So it's not actually protected, it's not appreciated enough. So it really needs awareness. The fact of its being there needs to be more publicly known. Mm-hmm. And it's such an amazing monument and so beautiful. Yeah. And it's our ancient heritage, it's our Stone Age heritage.
I have to say, I really enjoyed that day in Kerry, exploring the shoreline and getting an insight into the minds and the lives of our ancient ancestors. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's programme. On the Hinyor of Wurin Iwagwif, agus Bunigi Tanavas and Derry Shachtana.